This is Dan Dix here reporting for Press for Truth, and we are joined here in the flesh by the one and only Brian Thiessen. He is the newest member of Press for Truth, and it's great to finally be able to put a face to the voice. Obviously, you've been making some videos for Press for Truth. You may have noticed some screen grab videos coming from Brian. You're going to be seeing a lot more of that coming soon. So I wanted to first introduce you to the PFT audience officially, and how did you first get into this movement, first of all, and come across Press for Truth?
I've actually known about you for quite some time. I haven't, followed you super closely, but I've seen quite a bit of your stuff for a while, and I've been involved with a lot of stuff over a long period of time. I sort of had a bit of a awakening in the 2000-2002 range, and as time was building, start seeing more and more truth coming out and realizing we're not getting that truth, which you and a lot of others are providing. So I really wasn't overly technical savvy. I started doing some public speaking on topics like smart grid, smart meters, radiation, stuff like that, and then that just blossomed into other things. As well as I've, for at least a decade or more now, I've had a very close eye on the finance side of life and the shenanigans, or if you will, that goes on with that. So.
Right. So you're focusing a little bit on the smart meter grids and the kind of electronic aspect of the control grid, if you will, as well as the finance aspects. And then you eventually got to the point of wanting to do something about this, right? And what did you do? You started a blog or the YouTube channel? What came first?
A bit of a blog, and I started that because we were preparing some documents to try and stop some of this surveillance smart grid stuff on a number of fronts for a multitude of reasons. And, that was great, and it served its purpose, but then I just kind of started seeing a lot of people, again, such as yourself and many others, sort of doing the screencasts and really kind of thinking about upping my game a little bit, and I decided to sort of give it a try. And then I saw one of your videos, as you know, and said, hey, maybe I'm going to get a hold of this guy and see if something can happen. So that's really what happened. And so now as we progress and move forward, I really want to start doing some more stuff, more actual videos where people can see me and learning that. So we're in process of learning those things. So that's really where it started.
Yeah, totally. And as you said, it led to the point of you reaching out to me, contacting me. I looked at your blog, your site, your videos, and I said, hey, this guy looks like he'd be a perfect fit for PFT. We've been doing some screen grab videos now, and as you said, we're going to be exploring other things that we can potentially be doing together at Press for Truth. You mentioned possibly even getting into podcasting and things like that. Where do you see us moving forward in the next 6 months to a year? What would you like to see come of this relationship?
Well, I really want to just find a way to learn the most effective mediums that I can. And, I like to learn. I like to figure things out. As much as I'd like to research, it's like I always felt that I have a lot of knowledge. I kind of do it because I like it, the research stuff. I just like to know. But then I was like, well, some people just mentioned, I kind of like how you said that or whatever. And so it sort of jogged me to do that. So moving forward, I'd really like to, whatever it's going to be, it's a screencast, it's a podcast, if it's interviewing somebody, whatever we need to do to have that most effective medium to get our message across, which is actually telling the truth about what's going on in our world, right?
Yeah. When it comes to the finances, and this is why I'm so glad to have somebody like you on board, because you really deal a lot with, these pension plans and a lot of the things that are being set up behind the scenes. What can you tell us, about some of the information you're going to be bringing to the PFT audience in regards to how we're being screwed monetarily?
Wow, that's a huge void that really starts, grade school, high school, college, or university, whatever. We don't get told these things. And, when everyone always says follow the money, well, I've just decided to go to one of the biggest piles. You could say derivatives or debt or whatever, and I do like to just explore those. But I really want people to understand that the money inside the whole game, those pieces, the players, whoever you want to call it, these families, this whatever, they're really beholden to that picture of the money. So I want to be able to show people how much is there, who's really ruling that, because it's not what is money, it's who is money a lot of times, but it's also where is that money?
Yeah.
What are they investing in? Why are seemingly almost all the time all the worst companies the most profitable? It's because these guys are putting their money there, and at the sort of the top of the pyramid, it's the worst people are the ones that are in control of that money, and so this really controls almost everything that happens on our planet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would have to agree. I mean, that's one of the fundamental things that we need to look at in order to really hack at the root of the issues here, right? Yeah. So that we can present real solutions. And just I suppose in closing, this is something we at Press for Truth want to look forward to is providing solutions. Not always just talking about the problems we're seeing in the world, but also providing the solutions on what we can do about this. To me, that's one of the most important things, rather than just kind of always talking about the problems, right?
Yeah, I totally agree. One thing in mentioning that, sometimes things can just be explained a different way by somebody else, and they kind of get it, and then they get that more of awareness, because no one's really going to act on a problem if they don't necessarily know it exists. But then also, I feel, and I think a lot of people feel now, that enough people are sort of understanding the scope of things, and maybe it's just time to try and focus on what we can do to solve a problem. But really the root of solving any problem, to me, is just waking up, paying attention, and being aware. Like, if people ask what is it that I need to do, pay attention. Don't just get lost in your phone and your life. We all know we're busy, but take a little time and look at what's really going on. Find out, and then oftentimes enough, I'm aware of this problem, and there's probably some people out there that have some solutions. I know that myself and some other people are working on some pretty powerful stuff right now, and I'm sure a ton of people globally are doing a lot of things. So if we're talking about solutions, it's as simple as taking your lawn and making it a bit more of a garden versus a lawn. A lot of our solutions are in our home, or they're in our choices, they're in our wallet, they're in where our footsteps are. They're not necessarily voting for somebody or looking outside of ourselves too much.
Now, in terms of your political views, you have just recently decided to jump into the game of politics and to run. Tell us a little bit about what you're hoping to achieve there.
Well, I don't want to sound too much like a politician, but really change. I mean, it's time. We need a lot of changes, and I feel what I bring to the table is to say a lot of the things that nobody else wants to say, to bring up a lot of the subjects that need to be talked about. The state of our pension plans, a lot of things with the environment, the finances, what's going on. Let's say I'm in BC with BC Hydro and other utilities. There's a lot going on, so I really want to bring that message out, and I really want to be, a vehicle to start that change off. So what I decided to do, and I've been thinking about this for quite some time, is to decide to run for office, which is MLA in British Columbia for the May 9th election. So I'm going to be running in Kelowna West, which just so happens to be the riding of the Premier of British Columbia. And there's also an NDP candidate and I believe a Green candidate. So I've decided to take that step. It's a little bit less about me, more so about everybody else and why I want to do it, which is it's time that somebody speaks up for the people, because that just has not been happening for way too long.
Can it be chalked up to infiltration, or maybe trying to take it down from the inside? Or do you look at it like that, or do you look at it in a different way?
I don't know. There's maybe a way that that could be. There's elements of truth to that, because if you say from the inside or whatever, well, that means there's an existing something, and what we know is that something is a large system ruled by sort of a small group of characters, whether that's from your city council on up to your province or to your country or state or the U.S., whatever. And so maybe to hopefully trying to find a way into there for the people to have a vehicle, to have a voice. They don't have that. And for everybody at home and even yourself, who is it that's really talking about anything of substance? We hear a lot of slogans, we hear a lot of whatever, but nobody's saying anything about what's really happening. Where they're all hiding behind these plans, and there's these piles of debt, and nobody's dealing with it. So that's what I want to bring to the table.
Any final thoughts on where this is going? It's been a snowball roller coaster of a ride for me. Now you've joined the team. Any final thoughts on where you want to see this go?
I'm just very excited. I think your audience is very intelligent, and they're eager for knowledge, and that's good. That's a great sign. There's a lot of people out there that want to understand stuff some more. So I'm ready to ramp up my game and learn a lot of things and try and catch myself up to speed with your knowledge on production and whatnot. And who knows what the next month or 6 or 12 or whatever will hold. But I'm just excited, very excited to bring whatever I can out to the people so they can understand more.
Awesome. Well, it's great to have you officially on the team. I'm glad to officially announce you to the PFT audience. Stay tuned, guys. You're going to be seeing more videos coming from myself and Brian Thiessen very soon at pressfortruth.ca.